we'll get you back on in a minute. Let's see. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm on, guys. This is our first session. Yes, and I see myself on Facebook. I'm just checking myself here. And we'll wait a minute to see if anybody's coming on. Chats are open. And this is kind of funny because I'm checking on my phone as I'm talking and I'm seeing that they're doing caption on Facebook. So, just in a few minutes, we'll get started. So hi guys, I am just waiting for some people to show up because this is not just a thing of me talking. This is for an interactive session, and it's pretty much, so I've got one person, I see that I've got one person who's joined. I don't know if that's behind the scenes. I've got Kayla.
Hey.
Joining and helping me. So, Kayla, if you're the one who's on Facebook, it's just the two of us right now.
That's okay. I just posted it too. So
All right, so we're just waiting for some people to show up again because this is my series of coming into being. So it's the focus on that is to be interactive and a space of having it be interactive and sharing the experience and making this experiential for people. I wanted to do this because I find it a lot more interesting to be interacting with people than just kind of sitting here and talking. But wanted to give people the space to come in and just kind of practice, but just getting familiar with things and experiencing certain things. And often that's easier to do when we're in a setting with another person that is or like a group setting or with a mentor, to sit there and have somebody kind of watch and guide and be present and help you. Says, okay, do a little bit more over here, a little bit more over there, kind of thing. Kind of like a coach with people from gymnastics. So we'll wait a couple minutes just to see if anybody shows up. And until they do, chat, if we can see if chat is working or not while we get kind of set up. So whoever's on here, if you can actually go and make a comment on the chat, because I have no idea if this is the first time I'm doing this. Whoever's on here. And if this is showing up, technically it's supposed to show up. Yes, it showed up. So, okay. We are good to go. So the chat is working. So anybody who shows up, you can make a comment on the chat and we will be able to interact and get comments and stuff. So, okay, well, we will get started, and whoever shows up, and whoever doesn't can catch it on the replay. And this might be a little shorter today. This is the kind of just getting started. So we'll just go with the flow today. But anyway, so first I need to read my little disclaimer just to be official here and to be really clear. So today is January 20th, 2021, and my name is Marianne Carduner with unboundedandfree.com. I am not a medical professional or therapist. I do not have the power to heal, nor do I diagnose or treat any disease or medical condition. I can read your energetics and frequency patterning and tell you what I see. If you need any help or advice, please consult a medical professional for that advice. So let's just kind of come into our core center. And I'm going to just bring in, so people are showing up are actually people who are going to look at this later. Also, I'm seeing those people coming forward too as well. So coming into that core alignment for ourselves. And what I mean by that, so that came up with somebody that I was working with, and it's core alignment. It's like, what's that core alignment? So you can either come, if you're familiar with your spine, you can just, by closing your eyes, come into that awareness of your spine. And like imagine your spine and feeling that. And the core channel is just an energetic structure that's internal to you, that runs right, it overlaps, and it's kind of overlapping a little bit with the spine and in front of the spine too, and just runs vertical. So, but the spine is good. The spine is actually fine to do that. You'll be right in with it. So just kind of closing your eyes and putting your awareness there and feeling into that. And if your mind wanders off to something else, just allowing that to come back, to bring it back to the spine. If it helps, you can also say, okay, spine. I'm focusing on my spine. Just to kind of give a little directive to your mind. And you might notice that when you kind of start to really kind of get into that, you might start noticing the movement of your torso with your breath. And you might feel yourself straightening out a little bit. So allowing yourself to just rest into that. And coming into that place, okay, yeah, I'm going to start working on people because there's a little wobbliness in some of you. Kind of this going back and forth, and that's okay. This is just kind of these old patterns that we come up with, that we have, that for a lot of different reasons that are showing up. So this is good. This is why we're here. To really come in and have that practice and have that support of the space to get that reinforcement for coming into that core alignment, that alignment with ourselves. Yeah, and so yeah, I'm seeing someone here having a bit of a problem. Yeah, there's a lot of pushing in on you, of like, feels like it's mostly on your right side, just this heaviness on your right side. Oh wow, this is pretty heavy. So this is great because this is shifting that. And so as I shift that, what's happening is that everybody's spirit is kind of present and it's going, oh, okay, wait, I don't want to get into that. So kind of everybody starts getting clearer with themselves, for themselves. Yeah, very nice. Okay. Yeah, there's just that quality of what has been shifting out. Obligation isn't quite the right word, but it's that piece of this duty bound, this you're going to have to do this way. You're going to have, this kind of a domineering force in your life that really kind of it has been weighing on you. And so that keeps you out of alignment with yourself, because if if any of us have something that's pushing it into us and telling us you have to XYZ, that's getting into control, being controlled, which is abuse in essence, because it's not allowing you to be who you are and to be yourself. So, and of course, the other side, the flip side of that, is that you haven't been able to hold yourself in your own space, even with this pushing away from you into you. And so it's about us really getting into that place where we can come into so strongly, that we are so strongly connected and in with ourselves at that core, that we hold that space, and anything pushing against us, we're able to just hold that. And sometimes we might need to push a little bit more, but so that's the flip side of the coin here. Both forces are acting together. Just taking this piece away from you, so that's shifted away from you. But I want to bring in this other piece about all of us being able to hold our own space all the time. Oh, Harold, hello, Harold. I just saw you pop in. Yes, welcome. So thank you for joining us. And so coming into that place, so here today, so shifting this piece, but coming into that place where we really have the space to practice and become stronger in holding our space, our own space. So it's kind of it's easier to do it in a group. Sometimes it can be a lot easier. I mean, even for me, when I'm holding space with other people, I find it's kind of easier than when I do it for myself. And part of that is that it's like the light, the energy bounces back, and so it's clearer to read. So this is for anybody. It's not because you're not doing it well enough or don't have the practice. I mean, there's a little bit of that, but so this is the reason for doing that. So really coming into that strength. Yes, very nice. Okay. And clearing all those who are physically present, but also all those who are not physically present. Because again, I'm noticing people will come in and watch this call afterwards. Yeah, very nice. Oh, okay. So really taking a nice deep breath, bringing your awareness into that breath and into that really center, that deepest center of yourself. So again, if you want to just focus on your spine, that's easier. For some people, the spine is easier. It's for some people, they're so aware of their energetics, have learned that model, that it's easy to come into that. But that center of yourself, where your purest essence is. Yeah, there we go. Very nice. So let's get everybody up on board with this alignment. Yeah. Okay, and I'm just kind of expanding that space a little bit. So everybody's holding pretty well. There's a couple people. There's somebody here that's a little wobbly, and that's okay. This is why you're here. This is like the practice session. It's nice to have a space to practice in before we kind of go on stage live, right on the stage of our lives. So before we have to stand on our own, it's nice to have that spotting, like somebody on the balance beam. It's when you're practicing, it's nice to have that coach or that person who spots you, that teammate that spots you, so you can practice and learn to balance and to learn to hold that for yourself, so then you can do it on your own. And this is, in essence, this is what we're doing here. So very nice. Yeah, you're holding a little wobbly. I see that wobbliness, but it's really good. Yeah. And just let's amp it up for everybody here. So I'm going to be quiet for a little bit to just bring it up a little higher for everybody, of that internal alignment to essence, to yourself, to your pure essence, your pure presence. Yeah, there we go. Very nice. So let's feel into that. Let's really take the time before we just jump into something else, because that's what usually life does to us. So here we have the space to really just be in that purity of that alignment to our purest source. Our purest being, our purest self. And if you want, there's a question you can ask, and some of you know variation of that, so that's fine. But the question, the way I'll phrase it today, just in the context of what we're doing here, is how do I connect with my purest self even more? So this is a tool. Asking that question is a tool. What it does is it starts that resonance at that center. It's like that core. Like I feel it like right, really deep in the core. It's like this resonance that starts happening and vibrates out and spreads out. So when you bring your awareness to that core, take a breath into that, and then asking the question, how do I connect to my purest self, my purest source, my purest presence? There's some variations to that, all bringing you to the same place. And allowing that to radiate out, send that vibration through all the way out till it fills up. Let's take that all the way out through your body, through your spirit body. Let's bring that in until we really fill ourselves up completely, or are filled up completely with that resonance of connecting to our purest self, our purest presence, our purest force even more strongly. Wow, very nice. So that filled up really nicely for everybody. So allow yourself to feel that. And notice whatever comes up. There might be some, to start noticing this, but there's kind of this floating, like a light floating, this airiness, and kind of this stillness that comes in. That's all of a sudden very prevalent there, so very nice. And you might feel lightheaded. It can also bring up a headache, kind of headachy feelings, so kind of clearing up those distortions for people, because it's like your mind, your brain patterning is used to working a certain way and to creating a certain holding patterns in your being. So yeah, let's clearing that up. Yeah, there we go. Lightening up the head. Okay, and I'm also seeing that that's bringing up for the group, and that's opening up, so that's starting to come down and opening up into the chest. Yeah, very nice. And opening up, going down into the lower abdomen. So kind of the seat, that's the seat of our physical identity. Boy, that's creating a nice, good clearing for everybody. Very nice. So really allowing ourselves to feel that. This connection to yourself, to your purest being, is your greatest tool, your greatest weapon. So weapon's kind of a funny word, but last night I was watching Thor, the last one, Ragnarok, and at the very end, beautiful. Without giving the movie away, but I kind of do. But anyways, he loses his hammer. Thor loses his hammer, and he's battling his sister, and in a deeper state, he connects with his father, and he's, but I don't have my hammer, and his father says, that was just a tool to help you bring your power into focus. I don't know exactly how I said it. So same with this question. It's a tool to help you come into bringing that focus of yourself into your being, into your mind, and into your whole being, and focusing that power of your essence, of your purest essence, your purest self. And it's really coming in strongly for people right now. He's giving you a little flavor of that. And just a little flavor, because there is so much power and strength. And with that understanding, Thor goes and conquers what he needs to, does what he needs to do, conquers what he needs to conquer. So that's the lesson for us, coming that power of the tool of our beings, of that pure essence, and coming into that full alignment and that full connection with our alignment with ourselves, with our purest essence, our purest self, which is that alignment with pure source. Very nice. Yeah, and I can feel like that hunger in people, wanting more of that. Because once you get a taste of that, then you really start to feel that fullness for yourself and that wholeness. And of course, what comes with that is that sense of freedom, that sense of truth, that sense of freedom, absolute truth, absolute freedom, not what we've experienced in life. And so with that opens the door to everything in our lives, in our existence, to be who we are, to be our fullest, to be our brightest, our most brilliant selves. And how wonderful that is. So that's just really amazing to see that in people and to feel that wanting more, because this is what will help you to push through everything that you need to push through, give you that determination to be yourself, to feel your strength, to feel your being, to come into your brilliance, and to achieve everything that other people think is impossible, but to really come into that fullness of yourself and that purity. This is all you need. Everything that you could need and want comes from here. When you don't have this for yourself, nothing will satisfy you. You know, it's like going to the store, and I know I've been there before, because I'm noticing now it's like I go to the store and I get exactly what I need, and then I might be wandering around because I'm waiting for my friend because we've driven together. I'm like, I don't need anything. I don't need anything. I'm just looking at everything. And before going to the store and trying to find something to buy, you know, whether it's food or clothes or anything, and looking for something to buy, because there's something missing in here. And what's missing is that connection, is feeling. It's more than that connection. It's about really coming into that fullness, that, and feeling that, and owning that for yourself. I'm seeing a lot of mental energy that's releasing from the group, so that's really nice. And it's not that the mental is bad, but it's because it's been overused. And it's also because there's a lot of people have a lot of beliefs, and there's that come from paradigms that just come from weird notions that come from a lot of different places about what it means to be with ourselves, to be in the truth of who we are. So there's a lot of that that's clearing up. So just be aware of the release that can happen. It might not show up for any of you. You might just like step out of here. It's like boom. And you might also step out of here and start noticing all these little things like blah blah. Like emotional stuff comes up where you get kind of angry or upset or irritated more easily than usual, or somebody starts picking an argument with you, or you start getting into argument, or getting really irritated, or things like that will come through, and that's part of the release process. What happens is we shift our vibrational level. So every time we do that and connect with ourselves, and it might not be very much, but sometimes when it's a lot, especially when we're working in a group, and what will happen is that it's enough of a shift in vibration that there's a lot of stuff that comes up that's not at that vibrational level. So imagine that you're like here. So here there's like all this stuff that functions at this level. And then let's say you jump up to here. So it might not be a real big level, it might be just a step up. But then there's all the stuff that might fit into anything that's below here, that it just can't hold at that place. So it starts to fall away, it starts to crumble up, it starts to like just basically come out of you. At that, through the energetic system, through the frequencies and the energetic structures of your body. And so that registers through your physical being, so through your emotions, through your senses, through your thoughts, through even your physical body. So people can get a lot of pain. That's happened to me occasionally, not real bad pain, but that has happened to me. And I know some people that have gone through extreme pain, as it's literally pushing out of your system and releasing. So again, if there's ever any questions about what the hell's going on, do consult a medical professional if you have any concerns. But take care of yourself on all those levels. But sometimes it's enough to just kind of relax, take a hot bath, take a sauna, go for a walk. If that can be sufficient, but sometimes might be needing a little bit more extra help. But anyway, so okay, there's some more things that are coming up for people. As I've said, that brings up some other patterning. This is an interesting piece because it's a little bit of domination by a system, and we come into something, we learn about a process or something that even bigger than that, but sometimes it's just a modality, but sometimes it's just like an assumption that we make as we come, as we're born and we grow up. Things are done on the automatic, so things happen automatically. And so that piece of automatically falling in, this is like, well, this is the way we're supposed to handle this. This is the way we're supposed to do this. This is supposed to, this person has the authority, so they obviously know better than I do. So it's a little bit along those lines, and that's kind of coming to the surface for some of you. So let's take a nice deep breath in into that alignment. Again, breathing into that core, breathing into your spine, anchoring into your spine. Yeah, very nice. And coming into your being. So whenever you have any questions or any concerns, or you're nervous or you're worried, or you don't know what to do, just take a deep breath coming into this and feel that. Feel that beingness. Yeah. Even if it's just for a minute, even if you have to go to the bathroom, you're at somebody's house, you have to go to the bathroom, and you do that for yourself, just come back to center. It's like find yourself again. Come back to that center. Relax into that. Come into your spine, feel your spine. Feel yourself wherever you are. So if you're sitting on something or standing on something, lying down on something, and be on right now also, just like you run to the bathroom because you need a break from whoever you're with. For example, I've done that. Noticing, put your hands maybe on the counter and feel the counter with your hands. Feel your spine. Feel your feet on the floor. Notice where you are physically. Take a deep breath into yourself. Feel that spine. Come breathe as if your breath is coming right up and down the spine. And ask yourself that question. How do I connect to my purest self, my purest presence, even more strongly? Yeah, coming into that pureness of being. Very nice. Relaxing back out. Okay. I wanted to make this as interactive as possible. So if you have questions, you can put them in the chat and I will get them. I'm actually in the Restream live studio. I did get a comment from Facebook, but if you're on YouTube, you should be able to also just send in a little comment. And if there's something you'd like to ask about what we just did, or what you're experiencing as a result of what we just did, so we can, what does it feel like for you to come into that being, to come into your being, into your core? What came up for you with this? So I'm just gonna pause a little bit for people. There's probably a little bit of a lag time, so and so I'll wait for comments, but you're welcome to ask questions and get clarity on this. But what will happen when we come into our being? So there's a lot of things when we try to connect with that, our purity of our essence, because we don't learn to do that. We haven't been taught to do that. And everything around us is working against this, us connecting with ourselves. That's just been where the system has been at. So we're in the process of shifting out of that, which is good. So that'll become easier and easier for people. But when we have a lot of programming, a lot of patterns, a lot of beliefs, a lot of thoughts, all these things come in, and they're internalized, and they're in our subconscious, and so there's something in our subconscious that's going, you can't do that. You're not good enough. Uh, you're not worthy. Like there's a religious thing of you're not worthy enough because you are not God. How dare you? That can be one of those things too. We've gone through like abuse or control patterns in families, so that's not about if somebody's done it right or done it bad. We're not talking about that. We're talking about this is something that they've learned to do, and they're doing the best they can. As they've got it, they came in with it. They've learned it, and they don't know any better. So until we start learning better, um, okay, we've got a little comment here. I'll read that in a minute. All those things will come up as we try to connect with that, and so they come to the surface, and that's what we feel. So get a comment from Marlou says, "Hi Marianne, coming into my core, I become aware of tension in my neck." Yeah, the neck is a really potent area for control. So it's like, you see the mother cat that grabs the kittens by the neck to just pick them up and move them. So yes, that's what happens. So that's been a neck is one area that I've been working on. So it's like what I see going on, and I see that going on with you, Marlou. Where there's almost feels like it's like a female frequency. It kind of feels like your mother. It might not be your mother. It might be older, but there's that familial. I'll make it a little bit more general here, but it's a familial pattern of you've got to hold in place. You've got to stay with us. If you change, you don't dare change, because we need you to be exactly the way you are so that we can support ourselves, basically. A lot of things come up in the neck with that, and then the back. So feel free to comment back with that, and if you have any questions with that or more comments with that, or anybody else who wants to ask a question, please feel free to. The back side is a really potent area also, so that connects with the neck, but also kind of moving further down the neck, especially for those of us who were in positions to be burden carriers for our families. And I'm just going to shift a little bit here, of stuff here. But it's like, so that's one area that gets hooked into. And people just piling up. And if you've grown up with that situation, that certainly has been something that I've had to work through. It's like you will feel like your back is either, it feels like your back is kind of, it's this weird kind of empty feeling, or it feels like it's all kind of distorted or brown or kind of thing. And so one thing that helps is to just bring your awareness into your back, like feel your back. And even I mean, I've done this sometimes where I'm actually pulling my shirt really tightly forward so that I really, or pushing it into the chair and putting your awareness on your physical body in that area. So having that physical contact with something. Yes, that feels true. Thanks for clearing that up. Okay, good. Yeah. And that probably can come keeping up or keeps coming up until we get so strong in ourselves that nothing can hold on. So that's a nice feeling, because that's happened to me, where it's having to hold my space so strongly and really build up that back, and then all of a sudden noticing it's like, okay, yeah, they're trying to get on my back, but instead of being in my back, like feeling like they're like this with me, it's like, okay, they're just on top, and I can just go like this and push them out. So and so the back, so hooking into the back, because people, it's kind of a family tradition. I mean, that's kind of basically, it's that flavor of the family. It's like, well, we just kind of sit on top of each other, and even dead people, and so sometimes it feels like, nasty, like hook kind of things, or just like you're carrying somebody on your back kind of thing. So that's kind of the bird carrier thing, and just people who are not able to hold themselves, and so you were actually the stronger person that in the family or in the group, and boom, they just, okay, oh, here's somebody who's stronger. It's like, if you need a cane to walk with, it's like you're the cane for that person. That's nice, but you're going to help them better by coming into yourself, by being yourself. Yes, feels like a process of reclaiming my back. Yeah. So, yeah, little by little, so just keep putting your awareness of your back. Even without a session, you can do that for yourself, and slowly, just literally. And sometimes what can be really helpful is to actually just name the part. So feeling into the back. So there's the neck, and even touching it with your hands. There's the shoulders, the shoulder blades. There's the ribs. There's the skin on top of the spine, on top of the shoulder blades, on top of the ribs. There's the fascia. There's the tendons. There's so you can move from the back, from outside towards your back, or you can come from the front. It's like, okay, there's the ribs. Now my lungs, feeling the lungs. And your lungs actually go front to back. So feeling the lungs, and going to the back side of the lungs after you just feel them filling up with your breath. And with your breath, so as you breathe into your lungs here, feeling that stretch towards the back, because we have a tendency to be more focused on our front than our backs, especially when we've been bird carriers, because it's like, well, there's a hell of a lot of shit back there we didn't want to connect with, so we put more attention on the front. And relaxing, pushing, kind of standing back a little bit, pushing against the chair if you're sitting on a chair, feeling that breath coming in, filling up the torso, and then, okay, like there's sitting on top of the lungs in the back, and feeling those ribs that are on the back side. Yeah, there we go. And on top of the ribs, there's the shoulder blades. Between the ribs are connecting into the spine. So there's that skeletal system. And then on top of that, there's a thin layer of flesh, or depending on, if you have fat, or how much fat or muscle you have in that layer of flesh. But usually, like right along the spine, there's a tendency to have some kind of a dip, because there's usually not a lot of fat or muscle directly on top of the spine, so that will kind of show itself to some degree. And then your skin, and sitting on top of your skin. Yeah, there we go. So that was nice to bring in. We got some more comments coming in. Great, that's great. And feeling, yeah, so sitting on top of your skin. So just doing that alone was a nice clearing for people. And it might not be enough right now to do this, but really a good place to start. Okay, nice comment from Lionel. Yeah, thanks, Lionel. Great session, feeling uplifted. Good. That's what we're here for. Yes, feels like a process of reclaiming my back. Yeah, absolutely. So piece by piece, because we do that, and then there's some deeper stuff that will come to the surface. So that's really good. Yeah. Yeah, Lionel. Okay, that's good for you. There's stuff. Your back is getting stronger. Like there's a sense of you being able to like hold yourself like straighter. Like there's been some people on your back there, and now you're starting to stand straight. Have a sense of that standing straighter, because nothing's standing there. Nothing's on your back. Nothing weighing you down. So it's this weird thing for people who are not used to the energetic and the frequency level of they're just only aware of and realize they're the physical. It's like, well, they're always hunched over like that, and then you shift things like that, energetic, and then it's like, wow, okay, that makes a huge difference. Yeah. Yes, holding my pet posture. Yeah, good. So my sense is that's going to come in for you even more strongly, and not just your upper back, but also your lower back. There's stuff clearing out for you from that lower liver area. So anger usually gets, that's one of the areas. That's not the only area. Any emotion can show up anywhere in the body, but there's certain places where it has a tendency to kind of be concentrated, but not necessarily. Yeah, there's nice clearing going on here. So speaking of the backs, I'm seeing that somebody has stuff with also it's not the kidneys. It is the kidneys, but it's actually the adrenals, because there's some fears coming up here. Yeah, my sense it's Harold, it feels like it's you, so it's just coming up. I'm just going to say it. Yeah, you didn't ask for it, but it's coming up. So, but just and if Harold, if you can comment in on that, if that makes sense to you, that there's still some fear patterning that's in the process. It's in the process of shifting. This feels like it's very old. It feels more like it's lineage for you from some stuff. Okay, the Indies is coming up. Wow, okay, this is interesting stuff. It's not black magic, okay? It's not that, but it's kind of along the lines of voodoo kind of stuff. And even voodoo is a little too strong because I'm familiar with those things, that patterning. But it's that flavor of that, okay, underhanded, kind of behind the scenes kind of manipulation of people through kind of magic stuff that's coming in. So, yeah, that's really interesting. So, yeah, please comment in, Harold, if that makes sense to you or not. That's what's coming up. And so that creating a space where people, it's like you never know who's really has your back or doesn't, or is attacking you from behind. Interesting. We have both of those sayings. But clearing that up, so moving that away from you and giving you some more breathing room. It ties in also with the back. It's kind of funny. It's just, yeah, breathing room and just room to expand. So it's almost like you had this like kind of fence. You were fenced in, and then bringing out that fence, expanding it, pushing it out of your field. So breathing room, yeah, creating some more breathing room. So very nice, yeah. So Harold, I hope that made sense to you, because it feels like that was really connected to you. So very nice. All right. Any other questions? Any other thoughts, or any relative to anything that's come up? Or if somebody wants me to take a look at what they've something that's going on with them, especially relative to what we're talking about, but or if there's a really pressing thing. And if not, I think we'll just kind of end it. But I'll just wait a little bit more. see if there's any concerns for people. So we will be Harold. Okay, thank you, Harold. A lot of that's a cute one. I'll show this one because it's very sweet. Yeah, thank you, Harold. So let's end this. So my website is up and coming, and we'll just put that up for you. And you can also reach me at this email, but we're almost there with the website. But so let's take a nice kind of deep breath in, coming into our centers, coming into that alignment of ourselves. So everybody's holding more steadily. So there's more clearing that can be done, but this is kind of just a quick practice, and coming into the practice room so that we can get stronger for ourselves. Coming into that deep alignment with our self, with our essence, with our purity, our purest self, our purest essence, our purest presence, our purest source. And if you ever attend anything that does not help you, that does not get you, that does not bring you more deeply into that connection to yourself, and I'm talking about like events like this, especially of people not just jumping right in and not creating that space for you to be in that connection with yourself, that purity of your being, then turn the other way. Okay, yeah, very nice. Coming into that pure space, that pure connection, that pure presence. Oh, yes, thank you. From Marlou here. Thank you. That was great. Lots shifted. Great. That's really nice to hear. This is fun. This is the fun stuff. So we plan on doing this bi-weekly for now. And I'm focusing on getting my website up and getting that. I'll put that back up, show that back up for people. So that's my website. It's really close to being done, and so really focusing on getting that out. But so bi-weekly for now, and as we get more people, as we need to do it more often, we'll do it more often. And thank you all for showing up, and feel free to post questions afterwards or comments if you're seeing this afterwards, not live. And see you in a couple weeks. Thanks for coming.